Show.
Good. I don't know if it's afternoon, nighttime. I don't know. I'm awake. I have 3 exciting guests. This is Byron Jackson with Breaking Ice and Building Bridges. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if I have any theme music. I should. Pitta, do you sing?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I do not sing. Okay. I just sing in the shower. That's about the only time you catch me singing.
So she's kicked off the show already. We just have started and I'm already moving somebody out because they don't sing with me. And so you're pointing, Beverly. You should never point because then I'll ask you, do you sing?
No, you would be kicking me out the door if I sang. It's not good at all. But my friend here to my left, she is the performer.
Okay.
How did you know
That's
that?
right.
You know that.
You did share that with us
So
previously.
You sing, AJ.
I used to sing professionally. Yes, I used to do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies TV program?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay. Do you know the song? I'll go with you. We can go. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed.
Okay, that's not the kind of voice I sing, but okay.
Oh, so you have standards. Okay, throw the standards out. You're with me for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Live on the edge. Okay, here we're going to go. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed.
A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up came the ground, came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea.
Very nice. See, look at there.
Actually, I have a funny story about that because there were 2 people that sent the actors to the studio to audition for those parts. And one was Queenie Smith and Cosmo Morgan from Rainbow Studios in LA, which some people have heard about Rainbow Studios, but Cosmo Morgan and Queenie Smith, that's who put those people on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Wow.
And I used to work with them in children's theater. That's how I know them.
Now, what is so AJ, is that your last name too?
Jones is my last name.
So the J is for Jones.
Janine.
Mm-hmm. So it's AJJ.
Yeah, AJJ.
AJJ, which is very cool.
I kind of like that sound, AJJ.
It's like you have a stutter.
That could be your rap name.
Yeah, AJJ.
That's what I'd like to learn how to do. Can you rap?
What a stereotypical thing to say. You should have asked Pitta, and I am terrible. I am a terrible rapper.
I've learned 2 things about you that are not stereotypical. 1, you do not wear bling or like bling because, you lose it. And 2, you can't rap.
And I can't rap. I'm not. And I was kicked out of the black club. And so, but let's say this. I can rap if it's really slow. Now, so you do children's theater.
I used to do children's theater.
What do you do now?
I'm a lawyer now.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. And serious therapy for that.
So what kind of attorney?
I only do family law.
The toughest kind. The toughest kind.
Well, I don't know. Beverly does criminal law, and I think that's a toss-up. Let's see, people going to jail for years. People losing their kids.
Oh God, that's
people fighting over their kids, and so I've had to be witnesses in child custody cases. And
it's just tough.
And it's just
there's no win there.
There's no win. Well, thank you, Counselor AJJ, and welcome.
Thank you.
And you are Beverly
Palmer. Just like Arnold Palmer, the golfer. Beverly Hills, you can remember that because you're Beverly Hills Hillbillies, and Arnold Palmer, the golfer. I just process at a slow pace, Beverly, but I was with you. So is there a P in your middle name? So is Beverly PP? No. A. Beverly A. Palmer for me.
Now, where did you grow up at?
Minnesota.
Did you? What part?
Brainerd, Minnesota, the land of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. That's how the Mississippi was born, was because Paul Bunyan let his axe down and he started walking, and that made the Mississippi River.
You two ladies are going to be great on podcasts, by the way.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be, so you just have all these stories. And so you do criminal law. Where did you go to law school?
I went to law school at OCU.
OCU.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where'd you go?
OCU.
Yes.
Really? Two OCU Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
I don't know. Did they do sports at OCU?
They do a lot of theater and musical. I
Lots
think
of
they
theater.
do.
You had, at OCU used to have the national champion women's basketball team.
At Oklahoma City University?
Yes.
Oh, that's a new one.
And the mayor is going to be the new dean there.
He is there. I actually went in there to get some papers.
Mayor,
that guy
Mayor
is really
Is
tall.
dean of what?
The law school. That guy.
David Holt.
Yeah,
Yes, so
he's
I'm
Oh,
walking-
6'4",
I think that's
yeah.
great.
I think he's taller than 6'4". I was walking in, and of course, when we would go there in a court events, we would always park where the staff parked. So I parked where the staff parked, and I'm walking in to go get my stuff that I need. And it's after hours, and I'm like trying to get in, and he walks out. He goes, "May I help you?" And I was like, "Well, I just am going to get something from the alumni office." And so I had a conversation with him, but I did not know. I think he's more like 6'7".
But he's at the new
Yes.
law center downtown, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Peter, they need us no more now. So we could just
Byron's feeling left out.
Well, Peter probably more. Now, Peter,
Okay.
say your name again because I will never pronounce it
Yeah,
correctly.
that's okay. It's Pitta, and my last name is Igatera. Yeah, the H is silent, and it's like we discussed, it's a Spanish Mexican name. So yeah.
No, what do you do?
So my day, Monday through Friday, I work with veterans. I file cases against the federal VA for any traumatic events that may have caused some mental health or any injuries. And so I meet with veterans throughout my week and just really get to know them and really get to know their cases and file against the federal VA and get them some compensation and get them medical assistance or whatever they need so they can come to me and find resources, whether they're, encountering financial hardships or, they're having or they're struggling with their mental health, and I'm able to connect them to the right space and right people who can really reach into them and get them the help that they need while I take care of other parts of their life and get them some assistance and get them on much better space. So.
You said during the week, that's what you do. What do you do on the weekend?
So during the weekends, I do enjoy building things and learning more about science. I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd. And
You're a scientist.
Prior to doing this,
give it up here.
Prior to doing this, I was a medical lab scientist. I worked in the laboratory and got to do some pretty amazing things with the FDA and just learning about that space and nucleic acids and that kind of has helped me really understand the human condition and how we function and what we do as a species. And that has also allowed me to help in the veteran community so I can, guide them.
That's what you do on the weekend. That's what you're building.
Yeah, I'm kind of just building materials for veterans using my background as a scientist. So, yeah.
Really? Do you have a lab in your house?
I don't. A lot of my work is just building journals and building a community for veterans so they can come in and kind of really discuss what's happening to them and using science to really using the scientific method to train them and teach them and maybe decondition them from the conditioning that happened while they were in service or maybe some childhood trauma. And so yeah, just using scientific method to build books per se to be able to use it to their advantage. So, and it's helped me heal as well, through my own personal trauma, being in the service and experiencing, that part of me as a woman and as a Latina. And so, yeah, just really trying to build a community for veterans and women as well, specifically, and also children. Children are really a big passion of mine, specifically children who are in the government space as well, because their parents are or have been in the service, and how that experience has affected our children, having parents who are both service members who've been in war or have been in conflicts, and how they're internalizing that. However, how are we affecting our children as service members? And so I really want to bring a lot of awareness to that.
You have already. We'll just cut this out and you could just play it wherever you're at. This is what I do. I'm going to, just because you guys are learning, have you podcast before?
I haven't.
Okay, so I'll just throw things out. We're on the air, but you could just pay me later for this. So I will give you little tips that will help you. So one of the things that I did is really, as I'm talking to you, I kind of look to make sure, how am I keeping everybody engaged? And so knowing that spot to stop you without stopping you in the middle of what you're saying, and then say, well, thank you, AJ, for that. Beverly, where did you come from? And so to move the conversation from one person to the next, because your role as a podcast host is to really keep things moving. The other thing is be careful on banging or tapping or touching the microphone, because Santiago will have to clean that out. And so we want it as clean as possible. So it's very, be comfortable, but I'm going to pound on purpose, Santiago. So this we could keep on there. But if you're doing that, it picks up. And so we want to watch that. So that was my one tip. I want to ask you guys some question. What question do I want to ask? Okay, let's ask Beverly first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was a moment on your journey that changed the way that you see the world?
That is a very good question, Byron. There's been several points in my life that made me change the world, but one in particular is we were on a trip to and we were going to go see the ruins. And we decided we were going to take the bus. And the first class bus was sold out, but we said, well, we'll just take the next one, the second class bus. And to see how everyone lived with their chickens on the bus and just the people in the regular community. But then going through the countryside and seeing where people lived in houses with no windows and no doors and cooking over open fire. And of course, to them, I'm sure that was a good life and that's what their normal was. But just seeing that and being appreciative of what we have here. And although I also like to camp, and so I like being outdoors, and there's certainly not anything wrong with that. But I think in the U.S., we have so many privileges that I don't know that we really realize them, especially the younger kids, about how nice we have it here. And so it was just eye-opening to see, wow, could you imagine, it's nice to go camping and do that for a period of time, a week or two, but can you imagine living your whole life like that? So that to me was a very eye-opening experience.
Really, too, if you look at that you were, actually it was an inconvenience because you missed the first class bus, but it was actually that inconvenience that was a great teacher for you. And so, thank you. You ready there? Pitta, go to Pitta next. Here we go. What were your parents and grandparents like?
Oh my goodness. Excellent question. Thank you. So I was raised by my grandparents in Mexico, and man, I was very, very blessed to at least to be raised by my grandparents. Both my parents were not together at the time I was born, and my mother was an immigrant. My father stayed behind, but I had a very amazing childhood. I got very well taken care of. They were very empathetic and moral individuals, where also very awakened individuals. They really instilled a lot of discipline and really strong work ethic and just being kind to others. And I think that has served me really well and just being present and really making connections with others, because that was a really big deal for them to really instill in me. And, I was raised in a farm as well. And I was really spoiled as a kid, and it wasn't spoiled with materialistic, I was with materialistic items. They really made it a big deal to truly understand the connection between humans and the connection towards our Mother Earth, and so and helping each other out and being a collective, living in a collective environment, and everyone has something to contribute, and someone can. We should always look outside of ourselves. And I think that's the secret to life. And that's what they instilled. So, yeah, I had a really amazing childhood. So
you're a very serious person, aren't you?
Usually, yeah.
Usually? Now, do you laugh?
I do a lot.
You do?
I do a lot.
Do you know your jokes?
Not appropriate ones, probably, but yeah.
So the only thing that won't really get you laughing is inappropriate.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But no, I had a really good, really great childhood with some really amazing grandparents who really took me under the wing and really took the time to instill some good moral compass.
I believe that. I was just because you're just so serious.
Well, I'm serious about this. I'm serious about being here, and I'm serious about helping others, and I'm serious about
I shouldn't screw it up then.
I don't think you're screwing it up. So.
I could just be totally okay. The next thing I would like you to do, something that you would like to know about AJ.
AJ, I would like to know what was your biggest challenge in life, and how were you able to overcome that? If you could give me some advice on how to overcome any challenges.
That was good. Just let her go. Stop.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think I face challenges every day. For me, the biggest, right? For me, I think the biggest challenge is just continuing to hone my craft and what that means, as I do feel a burden every time I put myself on the line or put a client on the line. I'm trying to make sure I'm thoroughly prepared, more prepared than anybody else, including the judge. I'm trying to be more prepared, but that's a challenge, and that's okay. I don't mind that challenge, but
it's because she wants to win. When you're prepared, you win.
I think I just face it every day.
That was a challenge that you overcame?
I don't think I've overcome it.
But is there one that you overcame?
I think getting through law school, was one of the biggest challenges.
That's the hardest.
I think that was the hardest thing I've done. Dancing and being an entertainer and performing, that was just life. I just grew up with that. I understood that you were going to work 8-9 hours a day. You were going to go to an audition with thousands of people and get removed, or maybe you were going to get picked. So I learned to accept adversity very quickly. But the challenge for law school was a completely different challenge, because all my life, all my work was right brain, and law school is left brain. And so I had to learn to use my left brain more than my right brain.
How old were you when you decided to, like that dancing might be something that you wanted to do seriously?
Dance?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't know. My whole family was in entertainment. So dance, it was never a choice. Yeah, I was dancing at 3 years old. I was making commercials at 8.
What commercials?
So I did Oreo commercials. And,
did you?
Yeah, so I don't remember not ever.
So did you live in L.A.?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you were doing...
I was dancing most of my life, dancing and singing most of my life. Tried to be a triple threat. You know what that is, right?
Dancing and acting?
Singing and acting. You have to be able to do all three.
I was just listening to a podcast with Selena Gomez.
Oh, gosh. What a talent.
And she started out as a child actor. And she was on the Barney show.
The dinosaur Barney?
Yeah.
I remember her. She's a little tiny thing.
Yeah. And so you grew up acting and then decided you would like to study law.
No, in between that, I went back to college and got a master's in education and a bachelor's in French and Spanish and a master's in English as a second language. And so I taught French and Spanish for 11 or 12 years.
You ladies are very fascinating. You're making me feel like an underachiever here. So last question I'll ask you, and then I'll let you guys go back to jail.
You have to work really hard to go to jail in Oklahoma County. I'm just telling you, Byron.
You do? Yeah.
You really want to be there.
And I do have a get out of jail free card
somewhere
in my purse. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here it is.
Okay, so your question. So what do you think one of the problems are in society that you wish you could fix? Beverly.
That is an excellent question. I think somewhere along the line in this society, we have lost kindness and respect. And we have got to get it back, Byron. It is killing our country from every background. It doesn't matter what your race, your creed, your political party, somehow, some way, and especially after COVID, it has gotten so pronounced. As a matter of fact, that is the message why I wanted to do podcasts and to maybe bring it. And I worked a lot with juveniles. In addition to being a career prosecutor at Oklahoma County, I was also a city attorney in a local municipality. And I worked a lot, both in the DA's office and as a city attorney, doing the prosecution with juveniles. And it's just so sad. You know, they don't know how to be kind and respectful. The parents don't know how to be kind and respectful to the children. And you learn what you're around. And somehow we must get that back. I think it's part of our fiber of our nation. And if we can somehow inspire everyone to try to be more kind and more respectful and let it begin with us, I think that we can make a difference in the world, in the country, and in the world.
I drive my family nuts for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that when I go into stores, I always intentionally engage the checker. Now, sometimes they don't want to talk, and so I don't like push myself, but sometimes they provide openings. And I mean, you just can go, has it been a tough day for you? And they'll go, oh yeah, I'm about ready to get off. And I just have noticed that just that little interchange kind of lightens them a little bit. And so the next person that comes to them gets an entirely different person.
But that's just your automatic sense of humanity.
But that's...
You just automatically kind and want to engage. That's just amazing.
But I have to intentionally do it because I'm not intentionally like
really
that.
Oh, that surprises me for you to say that, because when I walked in the door here, you were eye to eye. I felt welcome immediately.
Well, that's because I want to engage, but I spent a large part of my early life disengaging and numbing myself. And so
okay, so now I have to know why and what you did that.
While I was drinking and drugging a lot, and so when I stopped doing that, it made me actually pay more attention, and I wanted to be awake. And the stuff that I wanted to hide from, I really wanted to face. And so I have to intentionally work on.
Still.
Yes. And because in my mind, you see what I do that well. In my mind, I see places where I miss. And I mean, just like I have like 10 grandkids, and it seems like they will never go away. And they're like at my house all the time. But I really want to talk to them and be like I have a 10-year-old stand with me for the week. And so I want to be present. But I get a call or it's so easy to get distracted and not. And so I really see where I am not and where I need to. So all of my prayer and meditation work goes into really being present with whoever is with me.
That is tough.
It is tough. It is, but it's a great, and I have decided that my goal is not to perfect it. My goal is to live it fully. And that way, when I die, I know that I gave the best that I could.
That's a great gift for what he does. If what you do is interact with people and you're on and you're engaged with them, and that's a talent.
Well, thank you.
Because I think a lot of us are thinking ahead, right?
No, all of us.
But you are listening right there. But it's something I have to learn, I think, to do.
But it's not like a natural thing for me. That's why we have classes here. The stuff that we do to be present, there's certain intentions and skills that help you to get there. And so I'm just as self-centered and preoccupied as anyone else. You guys, I really look forward to tell me quickly what kind of show you're going to do. But you have to do this in like 1-2 sentences. I'll give you 2 sentences.
Okay. So the name of my podcast is called Freedom Logic. And my goal for my podcast is to bring some awareness on social issues and bring some solution-based podcasts where people can actually practice some of these skills to get better mentally and physically.
Okay. We were kind of close, but good. Beverly.
How to live well on less.
Ooh. Was it feng shui?
No, I'm thinking there's all sorts of categories. How to live a life, eat well, and make nice meals at home for yourself and live well. I had the opportunity to spend a couple of weeks in the south of France. By the way, I'm retired or semi-retired, so I have the abilities to kind of play. That's why I showed up in shorts instead of a suit today. But yes, it's a nice thing. When I was in France, it was no matter what you did for a living, everybody had a really good life. And it was just so nice. And so I kind of brought that back. And I was like, let's be more intentional where we spend our money. Let's be intentional about what we do. And unlike you, I love people. Everybody has a story, and I really want to hear what their story is. And some people want to tell it, and some people don't want to tell it.
So thank you. I like people. I just have to be intentional about paying attention.
Mm-hmm. And when you're retired, it's a whole lot easier because you're not rushing around as much.
I actually am kind of doing something like my thing is naps. In fact, you guys are here during my nap time, and it's okay.
I'm glad we could entertain you.
Yeah, it's very. But I really started taking. I used to lie about it. I'd go, I'm going to a meeting, and but then I realized, wait, I'm in charge, and so then I just started saying I'm going to nap, and it has changed my life. 30 minutes, and it's reduced my stress, and so it's really made me think a lot about being intentional about how I want to carry myself during the day. I don't want to be rushing from, like I used to with, let's say if I was going to see you and then you, I would go, well, I'll run over and see Bear before I go see AJ. And so then I'd end up talking too long to you, being late to you, and I would feel rushed all the time. So I just would put you out and say, we'll get together sometime. And I go straight to you, and I can go at a better pace to see you. What is yours going to be about?
Mine is called How to Get Through Divorce as Painlessly as Possible.
You know how many times I've been married?
1.
4.
Oh, wow.
And
you needed my services.
I may still need, because I'm on my 4th wife, but we have been married for 29 years.
Oh, I think that one might have taken.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, she's
trial and error.
I just said I never was very good at one night stands, so I ended up just marrying him.
I told my sister that. She married 5 times, same guy twice. I'm like, you don't have to marry him. You can
just go.
How do you not figure that out?
Well, all of your shows sound really fascinating.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Good luck. And if ever I could do anything, just don't give me during nap time.
Right. Is that from 3 to 3:30?
Yes, they say 3 to 4. Okay. And so if you
look an hour.
Look on the schedule, and you'll see Byron's. They feel guilty. They put Byron's recharge time, but it's actually nap.
So do you have a couch here in the office, or you go home?
I go home because I have a CPAP, and I want to cozy with it.
And now that you have the opportunity with all those grandkids, you need to plant seeds of greatness in them. Get them imagining what they can do with their life. Inspire them. I'm
still inspiring their parents, so. And
full-time job.
That might be a lost one, but the kids you can really.
My kids, they're doing some fantastic stuff. They're pretty. So.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. I have three daughters and 1 son. My oldest daughter is 52. She's a semi-truck driver in Philadelphia. My
cross country.
She tries to not do that anymore. She has in the past. She doesn't do that anymore. Then I have a 36-year-old that's in Broken Arrow, and she has 3 kids. My oldest has 5 kids. My next one, my 36-year-old, has 3, and her oldest son is staying with us this week. And she's a headhunter for medical nurses up in Tulsa. My son, my 27-year-old, he has 2 kids, 1 more on the way, and he owns a restaurant in Ardmore, Qdoba, Mexican restaurant, and he's built it. He was there building it, and is very successful. And they're looking to buy another one, but they keep making babies, so who knows? My youngest is 22. She goes to OU, and she lived a year in Taiwan. And
wow, that's beautiful.
She's demanding. And she has no kids, but she has dad. And so.
Well, that's good. At 22, she doesn't need any kids yet.
That's right. She just needs her dad.
Yeah. So, well, you ladies, thank you very much. You hardly took any notes. Good. And so, AJ, Beverly, Pitta, thank you guys very much for being with us. And good luck on your podcast. I can't wait to listen and take orders from Santiago. This is Byron. I'm out.
Breaking Ice, Building Bridges is the Possibilities community podcast platform. Thanks for tuning in.